Hey, I'm Scott, and I'm an American in Bangkok. Today I got a letter. Let's see, which one did I want here? I want this one. Sawagi Krap Kun Malin. I'd like to ask your advice about my private situation. Maybe it could be a good subject for a future video. I'll be the judge of that. After 4 years of relationship, my Thai girlfriend and I are about to engage. I asked her to be my fiance and make this going in the Catholic way. I will offer her my engagement ring next month during a romantic date. It's only between her and me, in the Catholic way. We are supposed to marry this year in 2016. I agree to marry her in the Thai way. Her mother asked me some money for sinsat. She didn't mention the price. My future wife said that this is for showing respect to her family and to participate to the wedding costs. I think he means to help out with the wedding costs. What do you think about sinsat? What do I think? Well, I'm a greedy motherfucker, okay? Well, actually, listen, what I think, to be completely honest, is that it really depends on the girl and her family, and it depends on how genuine they are. If you've been involved with her for 4 years, chances are that, there are women that they'll go the long distance just to try to get that money from you, but I doubt in this case that's what it is. Who knows? I don't know if you're giving her money every month and all that kind of stuff, but I would say probably, if you've been with her for 4 years, you ought to know how genuine she and the family is. Let's see here. After hearing so many divorces, I was thinking to make a wedding contract between her and me. Have you heard something like this in Thailand? No. If anything, it's a contract between she and you, and it's generally about things like, I expect you to do this, and she expects you to do that. But it generally doesn't, I've never heard of it being like a prenuptial agreement. I just want that if one day we divorce, all is set up already. 50-50 for everyone. We split all. Dude. I don't know why you want to split all 50-50. If you've got, property or money prior to being involved with her, then why do you want to split it 50-50? I guess it depends. If you don't have much, listen, I didn't have much. Okay, I'll be honest. I didn't have much. I came over here and I was 30-something years old. I had like $10,000 to my name. And that was pissed away pretty quickly. But I got a brain. Which is a dangerous thing sometimes. It just depends on the family and the girl. There's no one set of rules that fits all. There are people who are going to go, hey, you don't have to give sinsat. It's no big deal. There are Thai families that feel that way. Then there are families that are, they want 1 million baht, and then there are, and they feel that it is warranted, that their daughter deserves to have that much, or more, or a little bit less. Or I've seen someone who gave 700,000-800,000 baht for their sinsat, and they didn't consider it a big deal. I did. I thought it was, well, I'm not going to get into it, but I thought that it was probably a bit steep. But then again, I don't know what the deal was, whether they gave a lot of the money back or whatever, and that's something else to consider. If it's for the show, to show the whole village, oh, look, my daughter, she's big money, okay, I can understand. But, then it's like, it's also about, it's about trust. And that's not something that I take lightly. I fear for the sinsat. I was planning on giving between 100 and 200,000 baht to her mother, my mother-in-law. I fear reaction of my future wife if I show her a wedding contract. I just think that with this contract, our wedding can be built with stronger rocks. Any advice or any videos about this? Kap kun krap. Well, my advice would be don't do it. Don't come up with a contract. Listen, if you're going to give Sinsod and you're going to give 100 to 200,000, I think that's fine. And then generally, if you're saying, well, I'll give 50-50, I think that's more than generous, and I don't think that if anything happened, that that your girl would expect more than that. Especially if you've been with her for 4 years. I mean, I don't know. It really depends. I mean, I don't know what kind of a temper she has. I don't know what kind of relationship you have. It's very, very hard for me to say. But I would say that for me, if I would say that as long as any divorce was not to get really, really nasty, you can probably work it out. And I don't think there is any need for an agreement. And I think that, especially here in Thailand, now if you're in the United States and you got a bunch of money, now I might say, oh, you better have that prenuptial. But I think considering the circumstances, I think that, and the fact that you may not even have to give 50% if something happened, I think that you should just not do anything. Listen to what the Sinsod amount is. If it seems reasonable, cough it up. Make them happy. Don't give more than you can afford to lose. And if you can't really afford this, you got to say, hey, listen, maybe I can work something out with you or whatever. Or maybe we can wait a little while. But I wouldn't jump into anything that I didn't feel comfortable with. And I think 50-50 is very, very reasonable. And I think if you just were... I think, first of all, if you go into a marriage and you start talking about that, it's a very uncomfortable conversation for most people. So unless you have a shitload of money where you feel the need to talk about that, I don't think that you need to talk about it. Okay, that's just my own opinion. Generally, if you care about that person and she genuinely cares about you, you don't want them being out on the street. Now, in that one video that I talk about every so often, My Thai Bride, I think it was, where I talk about the scams and how to avoid them with the Thai women, and I put a little link up again on this video. I think it's my most popular video. Well, I mean, I know it is, but I think it's still very popular for some reason. Gets a lot of people irritated with me, but I don't give a flying. So anyway, I wouldn't do it. See what happens. I mean, and the thing too is that, don't go into the marriage already thinking that you're going to get divorced. I mean, if you feel that way, then don't get married. You've been with her 4 years. You don't know yet? You don't know how sure you are? I mean, if you're that unsure, and, this whole, our wedding can be built with stronger rocks. I think you mean your marriage can be built with stronger foundation. And if you fear the reaction of your future wife, there's a reason why you probably fear it. I mean, why do you feel the need to talk about it? It's here, it's like, listen, if you might have to just give her, if you get divorced and you're the guy making the majority of the money, you might have to fork over a couple 100,000 baht. And then that's it. So if you've got a couple 100,000 baht, and then you've got to give her 50% of that, and you say, hey, listen, I'll give you 150,000 baht. That's half of what you got. Then obviously, okay, that's great. That's a good deal for her. Although I don't think that's. I think it's probably too much. But if what I'm saying is, if you have say you have 30 million baht in the bank, and it's all your money, and then you hook up with this chick, why are you going to give her 50%? I mean, give her 200,000 baht and say good luck, And it also depends on her status in society. I mean, if she is a doctor and she's making good money, she may expect a larger payoff or a monthly stipend for a certain period of time or something, kind of like alimony. But generally, you should be able to discuss this with her after you have calmed down and the breakup has settled. But listen, I mean, I've never been divorced. And, not to say that my wife and I don't have our little skirmishes. We do. We don't always see eye to eye. But I think that for the most part, most guys, most Thai women they're generally pretty reasonable as long as you're not a complete prick to them. So, anyway, I wouldn't do it. So I've rambled long enough. Listen, check out my Patreon page. It's right up above. If you want to help me please continue to support this site. You can do it that way through Patreon. I'll put the link up top. It's patreon.com/Scott Mallon. Or you want to help in another way? Click share. Click like. That's all I got. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Choke deep. That jerk. Can mine. That was my attempt at Chinese Kung Fu dubbing. Yeah. Anyway. Arrivederci. Ni hao ma. Shishi. Yeah. Bye-bye.